Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian, and for this video, actually I'm stepping away from my normal topic I talk about and talking about something completely different. I'm going to be talking about a film that I think is very underrated, and it's okay if you don't like it, but this is a film that gets a lot of hate, and it is King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Starring Charlie Hunnam as Arthur and Jude Law as his uncle Vortigern. Okay, I have seen this get onto lists or story of, videos of being very terrible. And I'll be very honest, guys, I don't get it. I saw this in movie theaters, loved it in movie theaters, thought it was epic, and then I was surprised when I saw all his reaction to it being very bad, and I said, why? Why is it bad? And every time I watch this video or see a critic who talk about how bad it was, none of them give any good or valid reasons that, objectively speaking, is proof that it's bad at all. It's all subjectively not only nitpicking, it's subjective. Something so subjective that I'm like, how could you possibly even regard that as being a good opinion? Some of the negativity I've heard to it is that the script is terrible. How? Not only that, I think not only is it not terrible, it's actually very good, because this is a script that actually has a lot of realism to how people would have talked. For example, when not King Arthur or yet, but Arthur, he's in the brothel, and he has the Blacklegs come in, and like when the generals, the Blacklegs are captain, he's talking about the Vikings, and they're all having this quick, snappy dialogue, and he's like, the captain was like, okay, he's like, which George you talk about, King George, George III, or my cousin George, or whatever, like, which George, be specific, Arthur, be specific. And then Arthur's like, and she says, oh, you're giving me a headache. This is actually how people really talk. That's what I liked about this. This actually embraced how people sometimes would talk to each other. And, nice, that dialogue just feels very organic and rolls off the tongue. And some criticism I've heard to it also is the opening sequence, or about how, where Mordred is attacking the city, and also, Uther has the Excalibur, he jumps and he defeats, defeats Mordred. And then we have, that opening sequence, which is expensive. It's like it was necessary. And I disagree. It actually shows the power and the might of Excalibur. And it presents, we get Mordred, the mage. And also, he's going to have a play later on. He's going to be important later on. Even though he gets killed in the very beginning, he actually will be connected to Vortigern later on. We see the jealousy of Vortigern. We see what he goes through to arrive at the point where he can overpower Uther even with the sword. We see all these things get introduced in the very beginning sequence. Without the beginning, the story would not make sense. Another criticism I got is there are no strong female leads. Okay, this was supposed to be a series. Yes, Guinevere's not in it. Yes, we don't get Morgan Le Fay yet. Actually, I think that was a good thing, because they could have been introduced later on. But also, there are many women in this story that do play a part. One, we have the female mage. Without her, everything could not have happened. Literally, she is the reason why so much was made possible. She really, really was. Then we have also how the Vortigern has to kill the two women he loves to get this power to defeat Uther and to overcome Arthur and all these things. Without his love for these women, he could not have done this. Then we get those three, I wanted to say that they're like sirens, who are those, urchin creatures. Those are like three women who are these some sort of creatures. They give him his power. And then also they're the prostitutes. Literally, they are the reason Arthur survived. They took him in. They didn't have to take him in, but they took him anyway. Trust me, this is a time period where prostitutes didn't have to take anybody in. Sometimes they were abandoning their own children after they gave birth to them. No, these women were heroic. You don't always have to have a sword in your hand to be heroic. You can just make a choice like that where you take in a child that's not your own. That is a symbol of great heroism on a woman or man's part, taking a child that's not yours. No, you have to be very heroic. So there was also Maggie. Yes, she didn't do much, but she still was integral to the storyline. There were women women all throughout it. They weren't leads, but they were still present, and this would have given a chance for women to become leads later on. I'm patient with that sort of stuff. Also, this movie felt so epic. It showed the largeness of how a film could be done. The directing was amazing. The direction is spellbinding. Guy Ritchie did a great job directing this. He really did. For us to write off his films being terrible without seeing any of the work and all the really good shots and care he took to create this story, come on. You know, again, I said it before, I say it again. We are so quick to label things either perfect or crap that we do no in-betweens. Something can always be imperfect but still be incredible. This movie is still very much incredible, and the acting is phenomenal. Again, a lot of care was taken into the costuming. It really was. And it just, in the scene where, like, you know, he's talking about when you've got Arthur, who is talking in, like, you know, when he's in the, you know, the haven of all the people who are going against the resistance to King Vortigern, and he's talking about the conversation they would have if they round up the barons. And it's all this snappy, quick dialogue. What a very unique way of telling a story. It gave you a different way of looking at an epic. And I'm very sorry it did not do better in the theater. I thought it was a very underrated film in every sense of the word. And also I loved how magic, felt like magic just was everywhere. It was just so incredible. And the music, oh my God. The music was so good in this movie. It just really brought an element to it. And one of my favorite shots, I mean, there were a lot of shots I loved in this. One of my favorite was when Arthur was running, because he was running from his responsibility, and he just threw the sword into the water, and he ran away from it. And then the Lady of the Lake caught it. Then when he fell on the ground, her hand came through the earth, pulled him in, and now he's underground in water, and she's showing him what he'll do. Again, and Lady of the Lake, she also played an important part. Even though she had not many lines, she was important. She's a great part of the Arthurian lore. She really is. And she pulls him down and shows him what's going to happen if he does not defeat Vortigern. And then Arthur comes back out of the earth, and he now has the sword again. She got the sword back to him. Great thing. That was so wonderful. And some people talk about some of the action and it's not being needed. No, like for example, when they try to kill Vortigern, and it is not successful because there's like just, you know, they have a fake Vortigern who's the target, and you know, I'm gonna say Goose Fat Bill, he shoots the captain, and there's a whole, like, you know, action sequence where the guard, the Blacklegs, are trying to attack Arthur and his, you know, band of people. But here's the thing, they say that whole thing was not needed because nothing was gained from it, but something was. We again see the power of Excalibur, and because he lost his friend and there are people who died because of it, Arthur now feels like defeated, so he runs from his responsibility. He does try to run from it because of all that happened in the full plan. Here he had this whole plan and it did not work out. It showed why he tried to run from his responsibility, and that was integral to the storytelling. And again, it was a very well shot action sequence. Go back again. People write this off as being a terrible film, but I hope that one day this becomes a cult classic because it deserves it. So that is my video of why King Arthur, Legend of the Sword is a very underrated film. So guys, have you seen King Arthur, Legend of the Sword? Did you like it? Did you hate it? It's okay if you didn't like it. It's okay if you don't like it. And I'm just, guys, it's okay, really it is. But please do not hate people like me who do love it. And those of you guys who do love it, thank you for agreeing with me. Awesome. I hope to see you guys very soon. Have another underrated video for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am the Philadelphia Whovian. Over and out.